Hey everybody, before we begin, I'd like to talk a little bit about a charity walk my mom, aka Stellar Flare in real life, is a part of called the Walk for Wellness. It's run by her work, the Family Service League. Family Service League is one of the largest nonprofit social service organizations on Long Island. Their valued programs help and serve over 50,000 people annually. They deliver tangible help and crisis intervention across a wide variety of services, including mental illness, drug and alcohol addiction, homelessness, job training, computer literacy, trauma counseling, at-risk youth, and family and senior citizen support services. Additionally, Family Service League operates preschool learning centers, universal pre-K programs, recreational camps for youth, and Suffolk County's only community school. Since the onset of Family Service League, their mission has been to maintain and strengthen the family structure throughout the Long Island communities they serve. Their mission is challenged every day by social pressures, economic hardship, and the erosion of moral responsibility. But their determination is strong and commitment unwavering since 1926. Family Service League's spectrum of social service programs comprehensively addresses the multitude of pressing social and economic issues facing Long Islanders today and is meeting the challenges that their communities must face in the coming years. That's what the Walk of Wellness is going towards, funding those programs so families in my home region of New York receive the help they need. In the description below is a donation link to the Walk for Wellness, taking place on September 14th. 88 cents of every dollar donated to this charity is directed toward assistance programs for families in need. Your contribution, no matter how small, will directly impact a struggling family. So if everyone watching this video donates at least $1, we will reach my mom's fundraising goal of $500 and maybe even surpass it. Thank you so much for helping out, and now on to the newest episode of At the Screening.
Since you three were unable to retrieve my bewitching bell, we need another source of great magical power to defeat Twilight and her friends.
He's gone!
I don't trust him.
None of us do. He's gone!
I heard that, Cozy Glow. I've literally only walked a few steps. Oh crap.
As Grogar's Team Rocket struggles to figure out how to get the bewitching bell to work, a villain road trip is suggested to visit the restricted section in the Canterlot Archives, during what Celestia and Luna are referring to as the last Summer Sun celebration. At the same time, the main six, Spike and Discord, make a few last-minute changes to the celebration for everything to go perfectly, unknowingly intersected with the Frenemies fetch quest. Chaos ensues. Hello everyone, and welcome back to At the Screening. I'm the voice of reason.
And I'm Thespio, and today we'll be discussing the Summer Sun Setback. A much-needed breath of fresh air after the last two ventures were either guilty pleasures or mean-spirited garbage that should have never been greenlit. Honestly, if prior episodes that already established little nuggets of info were written or placed a little differently, this would have been a perfect mid-season finale, as it would be a nice way to cap off the first half, but still leave us wanting more and get us excited for how the show's gonna wrap up. But as is, it's still fantastically put together.
Yeah, this piggybacks off of several episodes from this season, including Sparkle 7, Frenemies, Between Dark and Dawn, and weirdly enough, A Trivial Pursuit. Each one highlighting this season's biggest theme, preparing for the end. Between Dark and Dawn and Frenemies have the biggest callbacks in this episode, as far as preparation is concerned. With Between Dark and Dawn, the main six get used to delegation, and with Frenemies, Tyrek, Chrysalis, and Cozy Glow continue to execute their undermining of Grogar. It turns out the instruction manual for Grogar's bell was under Cyclock protection in what looks like the Star Swirl section of the Canterlot Library? Must have been renamed in later seasons since his return. In doing so, the three villains learned plenty from their trial period in Frenemies as to what each of their strengths are in unison. The Muscle, the Infiltrator, and the Organizer.
You know, weirdly enough, after they had their trial period, it seems that Chrysalis is more of the organizer than Cozy Glow is. I know a lot of people have been split on Chrysalis's introduction in A Canterlot Wedding, some calling her plans the makings of a tactical genius, and others saying she was a complete and utter moron. Whatever you may have thought of her plans back then, I think we can all agree she's definitely stepped up her tactical game since. And aside from the Dazzlings, she's become one of my favorite villains. Meanwhile, Cozy Glow seemed to be more of the infiltrator by helping them pick the lock of the archives and squeezing through the bookshelf to find the Bewitching Bell instruction manual. And of course you have Tyrek as the obvious muscle. Overall, the Legion of Doom played their roles very well during their second outing. You know what they say, first the worst, second the best.
And Tyrek's the one with the hairy chest.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
Ugh, never mind. By the way, I should really call it an exterminator for this rampant cricket problem. But anyway, back to preparing for the end. I was actually surprised that Shining Armor's defenses actually worked. The fans blocked any type of flight infiltration, and despite Chrissy disguising herself as a guard, the badge defense blocked her forward approach. Initially. I mean, I give props for Shining Armor's excellent thinking. It's just a shame Cozy Glow was backed by a magic-stealing centaur in the end.
Yeah, I will admit there was kind of a flaw I saw in this infiltration plan, and it mostly involves Tyrek. Not so much what he did with him stealing magic, that was still a smart move. But more so like last time in Twilight's Kingdom, the pupils of those affected looked a lot more faded. And yet here, no pony noticed that right away. I mean, it wasn't like their entire bodies were faded like in Rainbow Road Trip, but really? Not even Applejack didn't see Braybird's eyes looking a bit off? Especially since eyes are the most expressive parts of the body? Like I said, I'm not dismissing the Legion of Doom's very effective plan, but that was kind of a big detail that the heroes kinda stupidly overlooked. Though I will say, one part of the defense mechanisms that I was very surprised wasn't overlooked was the geese. Never would I think that one rogue goose would suspect something wasn't right and go snooping around to actually confirm if this was an emergency or not, only for Chrysalis to thwart it. It's things like that which are testing which side truly is one step ahead of the other, and I love it when stories keep you on your toes like that, and you never know what will happen next.
But speaking of the other side, let's talk about the princesses and Twilight's ascension to the throne. There's a moment where Celestia discusses with Twilight that this will be the last Summer Sun celebration.
My sister and I have decided the time for us to retire is upon us. You and your friends have proven you are ready to lead Equestria.
Yeah, that dial has a lot more weight now. Or it probably feels heavier all of a sudden. If you recall from Between Dark and Dawn, Celestia and Luna bestowed the Sun and Moon dial to Twilight to raise the celestial bodies, until the Royal Sisters returned getting their vacation photos. Soon, that's going to be permanent. The dial is an official passing of the torch to Twilight, and she doesn't want the festival to be left to the wayside. She wants to make the final Summer Sun celebration a special one, hence why she's delegating everyone to make some final adjustments. By episode's end, she raises the sun using the dial, a symbolic next step in Ascension. In appreciation of Celestia and Luna, Twilight officially renames the festival in their honor to the Festival of the Two Sisters. So mark that as another holiday in the books.
How many holidays do you ponies have?
We lost track.
But yeah, I agree. With Twilight wanting to change the holiday as a way to thank Celestia and Luna, she did it not only beautifully, but respectfully. But if I may, I also want to touch upon the rest of the main six, Spike and Discord, especially with the conflict coming full circle in between Acts 2 and 3. After they see Twilight change by not having Freakout number Googleplex, they want to do all they can to help make the final Summer Sun celebration special as well. But when things start to go wrong for reasons they aren't aware of, even with Discord behaving himself, they don't want to stress Twilight out after things have already gone so well, even after Applejack insists on telling the truth immediately. It's a very difficult moral dilemma they're faced with, which is another true test of their friendship. Not once did I feel anyone was out of their element or shoehorned in or even flanderized for the sake of poor comedy. And even after the main six spill the beans, Twilight takes it a lot better than they thought she would, which is a true testament to how she's grown and how she can better fix things. But if I can at least get this joke out of the way.
I wanted to show you with the Summer Sun celebration how much I've improved. So I focused on delegating and trusting others. It's been great!
Translation: I finally figured out how servants work!
Alrighty then. Now, even though this was overall a very positive episode, there is one negative I need to give. That would be towards the music. After Twilight delegates to the festival organizers to fix things up, there's a montage with the Legion of Doom's search coinciding with the cleanup for the celebration. The music for that montage just feels off. If you listen close, you can only hear about 4 or 5 instruments actually playing. I heard a drum set, a French horn, a trumpet, and a piano all playing in the montage. It just felt underwhelming. This is meant to be both plans coming together, and only a brass quartet showed up to accent the triumph. It pales in comparison when literally the next music piece is the Candlelight Reveille of the two sisters, and it's boisterous. Hopefully they're saving up something big for the finale in terms of musical score, because this felt really weak.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. It did kind of sound minimalistic for that scene. But I see that as a little more forgivable than my one major negative. I don't remember if this was ever mentioned or touched upon during Season 8 when Cozy Glow was first introduced, but after rewatching this episode, I feel the need to ask, and feel free to correct me if I'm mistaken. When and how did Cozy Glow know about the Canterlot archives, and by extension, the restricted section? I don't think they were ever mentioned around her unless it was said in passing or something, but I can't for the life of me remember if that happened or not. And if not, how did Cozy Glow even come to that conclusion of the Book of the Bewitching Bell being there? Again, I could be wrong, but that was one detail that kinda should have been addressed before the intro. And if that's really the case, that sadly doesn't cure my confusion on how Cozy Glow seems to be so all-knowing. But aside from that, this didn't do too much to deter me away from an extremely well-written chapter in Twilight's Ascension, and another stepping stone for the show's finale.
Oh, character growth is so boring.
Deal with it!
Anyway, aside from the 1 or 2 negatives we have, this episode was fantastic. I may have said frenemies was what I wanted from the Mean Six, but the more I think about it, this is what the episode should have been. While the main six deal with one problem, the villains go on a fun romp, progressing the story while also showing character growth for both our heroes and our villains. Not to mention, the episode was beyond meta with its humor. Only Mike Vogel could deliver a fun story like this.
Oh, no question. A lot of the dialogue was drop-dead hilarious, and the meta levels were through the roof. While I was a bit apprehensive of the overabundance of meta humor in the beginning of the end, here it was only used every once in a while, and I found myself laughing a lot. The biggest examples being 2 other clips we've already shown here, with Chrysalis and Pony Holidays and Discord ironically finding monotony in character growth. But another example I found was with Tyrek.
Celestia and Luna love to hoard information for themselves.
Oh, you have no idea, man. No idea. So, yeah, not sure what else to add other than we both give the Summer Sun Setback 2 hooves up. Heck, if I could, I'd give it all 4 of my hooves up.
So I guess this leaves only one more question. Does this change your opinion on frenemies?
Well, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, in terms of the Legion of Doom's story arc, and with frenemies being a necessary stepping stone, maybe in hindsight I was a little harsh on it. But I'm sorry, even though she wasn't featured as much here, I'm still not a big fan of Cozy Glow. I still would like some further explanations of her character. And something else I forgot to mention last time that also doesn't make her work for me, was the fact that she was an extremely weak twist villain. I mean, come on. Literally the first minute she was on screen and marks for effort, I could almost instantly tell something wasn't right about her. So it's honestly really hard to have the twist at the end of Season 8 be that she's a power-hungry maniac, if we could already see the twist coming from a mile away. But I suppose I can be fair, and I'll switch my hooves down for frenemies to another hooves neutral.
I suppose that's fair, but I still like her. To me, she comes across as an evil voice of reason among the three.
An evil voice of reason? What would that be like? What was that?
I'm sure it was nothing. But anyways, next time we return with a much-needed Fluttershy episode in She Talks to Angel. In any case, thanks for stopping by the balcony for At the Screening. I'm the voice of reason.
And I'm Thespio, and we'll see you next week.